frame raider!
Oh no! No!
Recently I found my old VHS copy of Toy Story at my parents' house. I found a VCR and played it, only to watch a heavily warped and audibly distorted version of the movie. Yeah, that tape's been through a lot. With how many times I rewound that one, it's not surprising that I then remembered a certain commercial which would play before the movie started.
With a click of the mouse, you bring the story to life.
This is Toy Story's animated storybook. While this is appropriately an animated storybook, that title also counts as a name for the series. Animated storybooks were Disney's way of bringing their movies to life on your computer at home. They would be narrated by a familiar character, who would, in a simplified fashion, retell the events of the story in question.
Okay, so let me tell you how this business between Woody and Buzz got started.
Before you turn to the next page, you can interact with whatever the game lets you click on screen with the mouse. Disney had a high level of quality for these projects, meaning you could expect a lot from their interactivity. They did storybooks for Lion King, Pocahontas, Hercules, Winnie the Pooh, the list goes on. Toy Story's animated storybook, however, was special. It would use original pre-rendered 3D animations that were fluid and looked stunningly similar to the film. That's because it was put together by Pixar themselves. They had the original models, textures, environments, and of course, the personalities.
I am starting to get irritated!
Reflecting their love of this property, not a single detail was missed in preserving the experience. Seeing this run at high speeds on your 90s PC must have been fascinating. Of course, you gotta keep in mind that these are only simulated 3D graphics. Disney knew they had something remarkable here, so spent a couple million on marketing it, and that was uncommon for a computer game at the time. Print ads were seen on food and soap bottles back in '96. Barely anyone walked around with cameras back then, so I don't have much to show for that. What we do still have access to are the original trailers and some magazine scans. That's about it. 3 months after release, Disney came out with another Toy Story PC game called Toy Story Activity Center. The name explains that one.
Earn your reward. I come in peace. Once again, the magic of Disney. Once again.
Credit where it's due, another high-quality title. Since it's a compilation of small games for little kids, I find this one less interesting, but it does have convincing animated sequences. These focused more on immediate situations in the game, which was closer to the feel of watching a movie. The animated storybook and activity center both share something in common. They don't work on modern operating systems. My friend gave me the CD of Toy Story's animated storybook a while ago, and with my Windows XP laptop kicking around, I've been meaning to take it for a spin. Today's the day. The game starts by immediately spoiling the final scene of the movie.
Woody and Buzz, best of pals! Who'd have believed it?
Toy Story did hit theaters months prior to this coming out, but dang. Besides the information just revealed, I know why they decided to open the game this way. When developing for young children, visual tutorials are a necessity, so this introduction gives the player enough insight to understand the basic idea at play here. Before we move on, I'd like to bring attention to Ham. He's voiced by John Ratzenberger in the movie and the game. This guy has a long history of being a trooper with the Pixar team. Once he's finished narrating a slide, I like to click the words he said out of order.
Buzz Lightyear got turned on.
Our main characters, Buzz and Woody, have different voice actors from the movie, as Pixar needed more availability to provide more original dialogue for the game. Woody is voiced by Tom Hanks' brother Jim.
I will not be replaced. I will be replaced.
And Buzz Lightyear is voiced by Pat Fraley.
I am Buzz Lightyear. I come in peace.
The two would end up voicing a lot of Toy Story's promotional materials in the late 90s to early 2000s. The rest of the cast uses their appropriate voice actors, but it's hard to say if they actually showed up for this one.
Look, see? My arms aren't long enough.
I would believe it if someone told me these were lines that were scrapped from the 1995 film. Once Ham's tutorial ends, you're able to choose between a few options. Ham's rightmost icon to quit, Ham in the middle to narrate through the story, and Ham on the left which gives you the full game experience. You'll watch intro cutscenes, listen to Ham's narration, then enjoy countless interactive triggers which enable pre-rendered animations. I like making Slinky do this. To move on to the next scene, press the right arrow on Buzz Lightyear's badge seen above. If you aim to see everything the game has to offer, you'll spend just over an hour with this one. A basic run with the intros and Ham's narration alone takes about 15 minutes. Quite the time difference, which proves just how much original animation was created for this.
Once again.
Granted, you won't only be sitting back while this world comes to life. The game also challenges you with 5 mini puzzles scattered throughout the story. Some of these are fine, others are a bit boring. I'd be more inclined to like these if I was actually a part of the target demographic here, which is supposedly ages 4 to 8. In these puzzles, you'll pack up toys, collect LGM from the claw machine, help Woody escape Sid's house, chase the moving truck on RC, even set up a Rube Goldberg machine. Speaking of, this one should stick out to the fans. Woody, in the film, tells Buzz that a toy got stuck between furniture. He then uses RC to push Buzz in. Instead, an unintended chain reaction tosses him out the window. In the animated storybook, Woody still makes the comment about a stuck toy, but now seems to intend for the lamp to knock Buzz. I guess it doesn't really matter, but it's funny to think about how these same toys who would accuse Woody of knocking Buzz out the window are the ones helping him do it.
According to StatCast, the fourth longest home run in the major leagues this year.
There were a couple other changes to the plot, and as with most of them, they were changed to better translate between a film and a storybook. On a few occasions, that gave the animators more opportunities to create hilarious situations.
Buzz!
Oh, sorry, Sheriff.
The Disney magic is strong with this one. Toy Story's animated storybook would end up winning an award from PC Magazine in '97 for their technical innovation in the category of Best After Hours Product. This game deserved the praise it got by Toy Story fans and critics alike. These days nobody talks about it, but I mean it makes sense since it is, after all, kind of a baby game. Regardless, if you loved the original Toy Story in its prime like I did, checking this game out for the first time today will flood you with childhood memories. If that sounds like a good time, this one's for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you Frame Raiders in the next video.
The main thing is to be there when Andy needs us.
Yeah, Frame Raider.